Tony Graf. Just who is this man of mystery? The judge, making judgments, making moves. He's wearing robes. He's sitting. He's got a little hammer. And he's making judgments in the case of BricksandMinifigs versus Reckless Ben. And on the case of the stolen $200,000 Legos. Yeah, he's doing real moves and real judgments, but that's not the only case he's working on. He's also presiding over the Tyler Robinson case. That's right, the patsy Tyler Robinson being stitched up for the murder of Charlie Kirk. But just who is Tony Graf? I'm trying to find the origin story of Mr. Tony Graf here. So let's look at his LinkedIn page. And you see, he started as a judicial intern somewhere around 2009, a law extern. He was a victim advocate, special assistant U.S. attorney, and that was in Washington, D.C. Worked in Nevada as a deputy district attorney, transferred to American Samoa in the office of the attorney general. And he gets back to Utah. You see he's held some roles, some judge roles, some attorney roles in the state of Utah. And that gets us up to the present, where he's the 4th District Court Judge. He was just appointed in August of 2025. We might as well skip over to his education. He studied at 4 institutions, starting out humbly at the Salt Lake Community College. Hey, I went to community college. He only took 4 years. I took about 10. He got his bachelor's degree in history, then got his master's in criminal justice. He got his law degree from the University of Utah. Tony Cox is new to his job. He was appointed to his seat in May of 2025 by Utah State Governor Spencer Cox. And who is Spencer Cox? I would love to get into Spencer Cox. He is connected to the LDS Church. There's allegations that he's part of the Mormon Mafia, and people say he disproportionately elevates people to seats, gives people jobs who are Mormons themselves. Now that in and of itself, okay. He's also a big upper of that controversial Kevin O'Leary data center thing in Utah. He's big into that. And there was very credible allegations that he got a $10,000 kickback from a lithium company whom was developing a lithium project in his state. So I'd love to go more into him. He definitely seems shady. There's a lot of stink there, but we'll save that for another day. This guy is presiding over the biggest case currently going, I would say, in the United States, the Tyler Robinson case.
So one of the complications is, as a judge, I have 1,409 cases as of last Friday. And
so yeah, it's a given. This dude is balancing a lot of cases. Now, I'm a proud conspiracy theorist. I love my conspiracies. I think the world runs on conspiracies. I will wear the label of conspiracy theorist proudly. I got a label for those that use conspiracy theorist as a pejorative. I call you chumps. You're marks. You're fools. Just accept anything I say comes from the perspective of a guy who believes in conspiracy theories, a conspiracy theorist. And I just find it weird that the judge presiding over the criminal case, the very high profile case, probably the biggest case going in the country right now, the state of Utah versus Tyler Robinson for the murder of Charlie Kirk. This guy's a patsy. I'm comfortable saying that. So I just have to wonder, was Tony Graf installed because he needed to be the judge for this case? And some people have alleged that there were Google Trends searches in Israel of Tony Graf prior to the Charlie Kirk assassination. That's interesting, and that coincides with a lot of other Google Trends that popped off, like Tyler Robinson, the name of the hospital, the Losi Center search, and a bunch of other searches that occurred in Israel prior to the Charlie Kirk assassination. The implication there that the Israeli government, the Mossad, had something to do with the planning and carrying out the execution of Charlie Kirk. Yes, I believe that. I think that is very logical.
Has anyone taken time to look up the new judge? Yeah, they have. And you'll never guess about what time they decided to look up the new judge. Here's Tony F. Graf. That's a pretty specific search term, by the way. June 25th, Tony F. Graf searched out of Israel. Now, let's look. Was he searched out of Utah during this time period? No. Strange, considering he lives in Utah. The searches were more prevalent on the other side of the world than they were in Utah. What about the District of Columbia? That's where we found the other judge being searched. Yes. June 13th. So June 13th and June 25th, or whatever it was right there, District of Columbia and Israel searching Tony F. Graf, not Utah, where he lives.
Now, this same judge presiding over the largest case in the country and carrying another 1,400 some odd cases now is issuing judgments and working the case on the BricksandMinifigs versus Reckless Ben case. Isn't that just interesting? Isn't that curious? I find that very curious. So I'm of the mind that Tyler Robinson is being set up like a patsy, and this is a show trial. And I'm also of the mind that Utah and Tony Graf are going to do everything they can so that Reckless Ben does not get a fair trial. Yes, I allege that I think Tony Graf has that Mormon Mafia connection, and he was the man for the job. Israel, the Mossad thought so. Spencer Cox thought so. And so now he sits in his robes, maybe a powder wig. That'd be nice, right? And he's going to preside on both these cases. We're going to be watching, and we're going to wait to see what happens. Now, Tony Graf recently issued a ruling related to the Reckless Ben case versus BAM Franchising. BAM Franchising made a move for a restraining order against Ben, and in this in extensive filings with the court, they effectively, without anyone from Reckless Ben's side being present, they effectively issued a temporary restraining order, had Reckless Ben's GoFundMe taken down, and basically silenced him from speaking out about any issues of the case and publishing his third video in the case. As Reckless Ben pointed out, this could lead to great detrimental actions for Ben and his friends. So he cites that he's protecting his friends from legal fallout and attempting to protect the GoFundMe so that Brian's family can realize those funds. But Tony Graf signed off on this, basically taking BAM's side on it, it would seem, in order to issue a gag order or a restraining order and freeze real assets that Reckless Ben and Brian will need in order to defend themselves and also to recover the money stolen by BricksandMinifigs. Taking down Reckless Ben's GoFundMe, I mean, what a hypocrite. Tony Graf himself posted a GoFundMe. Help save me as my health has put me down. Wow, he was not looking... Oh, I think this was a different Tony Graf. So never mind that. But you know what? I still don't feel like I got to the bottom of who exactly Tony Graf is. I mean, I did Google searches, DuckDuckGo searches, archive.org, Wayback Machine. You know when you go into Google or your favorite search engine and you do the search date range? I did a lot of that for looking for stuff prior to 2024. I can't get a read on this guy. I can't really find anything other than a couple of court cases from here and there, stuff relating to his law work. I can't find anything personal about him. The guy's kind of a mystery, which in and of itself makes me a little suspicious. So I want to know more about this guy's priors. Does anyone out there have any more information on Tony Graf? Something spicy, preferably. Isn't it interesting, too, that Tony Graf shot down the Tyler Robinson defense team's motion to have cameras barred from the trial, from the court? No, he wants cameras in there. He wants this to be a big show. Big show. He wants the whole public to see. You know? What's a show trial if there's no show? Give it some pizzazz. Give it some razzle-dazzle. So we're going to see the Tyler Robinson case in the full light of day. But when it comes to Reckless Ben, what's he doing? He's making moves. He's doing motions to silence so the public doesn't know. So for the Reckless Ben case, the public knowing the details, knowing the facts, that's bad. That's bad. But in this Tyler Robinson case, yeah, we should give him everything. Give him a good show. My question is, are we going to see justice administered by Tony Graf? Will we see justice for Tyler Robinson? And will we see justice for Brian, his father, and of course Reckless Ben? Because I smell a conspiracy. I smell shenanigans. But something tells me that if we keep the pressure on in both of these cases, use our discernment, keep the facts in the light of day, and keep the pressure on, I think maybe something good can come of it. What do you think?